Good evening, everybody.
皆さんこんばんは。
こんばんは。
How is everybody tonight?
Radio Eigo is here. How's it going, everybody?
お久しぶり。
お久しぶりです。Tonight, it's November 13th.
November 13th. I was wrong last time about. I thought we were going to be on a different last week.
Yeah.
But I was wrong about the
2
date.
weeks.
Yeah.
It's been 2 weeks. It's November 13, episode 13.
Is it really? That's funny.
So, 13.
13.
ゆかりんさんこんばんは。富岡さんこんばんは。星さんこんばんは。
こんばんは。
かいさんもありがとうございます。帰宅中お気をつけてお帰宅してください。13日の水曜日ですね。It's 13th Wednesday, no Friday.
Right, exactly.
Yes, so カイさんがおっしゃっていただいている通り Thank you for coming to 米市 last Saturday.
Yeah.
前回ご案内させてもらった米市も無事終了しましたなんか初めてのイベントだったんでどうなるかと思ってたんですけどIt was great weather.
Yeah, really nice
そう
out.
めちゃくちゃいい天気でそう風もなく暑すぎず寒すぎず、無事終えることができました。And the people could eat for free miso soup, rice, and mochi.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, some of them came from outside of town or other part of Tochigi, like from Utsunomiya とかね。
Yeah.
I'm glad we could see them.
Yep.
来年もね、probably we're gonna do it again next year. So, 来年もぜひ来てください。ちょっとバージョンアップできるようにまた反省会をしようと思っております。What did we do last 2 weeks?
I mean, you had the rice event happen.
そう、ライスイベントがあったからね。
Big thing.
何にも覚えてないわ。That was a big thing.
That was a big thing.
And then now we finished.
Got
So I'm moving on. Next step.
tatami in Kulua.
そうだ。足のそのまあ米市をやったなんていうんですか、目的の一つとしても、その今やってる空き家の修繕クルワという名前でやってる空き家が芦野にあるっていうので、まあその地エリアに皆さんに来てほしいっていうのでイベントを行ったんですけど、ようやくそのクルワも皆さんに中に入ってもらえる状態に近づいてまいりました。新しい畳も入れていただいて、床もほぼだいぶ歩けるようになったし、あとはもう本当そうですね、こう生活というか、こうなんていうんですかね、冷蔵庫とかそういった必要なものを入れていけばなんとか形になるんでないかっていう感じです。And we cleaned some around the yard, so probably be better by next spring.
Yes. Fingers crossed.
そう頑張れって感じね、ぜひなんかもうちょっと整ってきたら見に来ていただきたいです。ぜひぜひ。当日米市の当日も竹灯籠を作ろうっていうのもそのクルワでやってたんですね。私はその会場が一応遊行湾という遊行柳の前にある直売所の駐車場のところだったんで、イベント中は行くことができなかったんですけど、クルワでも地域おこし協力隊の皆さんに協力いただいて、竹の方にこうドリルで穴を開けて中にライトを入れるとこうかわいい綺麗なランタンバンブーランタンができるっていうので、竹もたくさん芦野エリアってたくさんあるので、それをこう使って活用していきましょうっていう一環でやったりとか。Was pretty good evening, I think.
Yeah, definitely. It was great.
でも it was like a very first time to do it.
Yeah.
And I'm proud of it.
Proud of you for it. It was great. Lots of people showed up.
ね、そうめっちゃ
I was worried. I was like, oh, how many people are going to show up?
Yeah.
I don't know how popular.
Yeah.
But at 10 o'clock,
It's like
there was a line of 30 or 40
そうそうそう
people waiting.
もうカラスと風だけ吹いてるんかと思ってまた
Yeah.
心配してたんですよ。誰も来なくて。
Yeah, it was really good.
よかった。びっくりしました。This is like a long line
Yeah.
in front of the tent.
Yep.
And it starts at 10 a.m. and finish at 3. And I thought like people coming around like noon, like 12 or 1 p.m. But like most of them came to like at 10 o'clock and had everything like rice and enjoy the sun. Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. Okay, so
What else?
what else? Can't remember.
Tatami Kula.
畳がね、感動。What else?
I think mostly just preparing and working for that.
Yeah. So
Schools had their bunkasai
oh yeah, right. 文化祭
last 2 weeks ago, maybe. It was great.
だから they did that at the stage, right? Theater.
Chuochu was at the Bunka Center. Nasuchu was at Nasuchu.
あ、そっかそっか。
Yeah.
Did you have that kind of event when you were in 中学校?
No.
No.
No. Not at all.
Nothing
We don't.
like that.
In America, we don't have any of the same kind of like sports days or festivals. No ceremonies or anything. We have graduation ceremony when you finish.
That's it. あれは enter.
Like they don't have an entrance ceremony. They have like kind of like a first day where they I don't know, tell you how to go to your classes
And that's it?
and things like that. But I mean, we don't sing the national anthem or perform anything or give out awards or anything like that. It's nothing like that. So, yeah.
なんかウェルカムパーティーとか。
No, it's hard for me to imagine all the different cultural events that all the schools have.
何にもないっての文化祭、体育祭。
No.
卒業式だけ。
I think like sports day is like a British thing.
Oh,
I think
yeah?
that's where it came from
へー
originally.
そうなんだ。
Because we don't have it in America.
British.
Yeah, but I think they have sports days in... We used to have something called like field day, which is usually towards the end of the year. But it was mostly just games for kids. Like you go into the like soccer field and there's different like stations where you do different like games or activities or things like that. But it's not like singing or playing music.
へえ。あ、じゃあ何 Students don't practice anything for that beforehand?
No, I
in
mean we
advance?
do have like concerts and stuff like that, but like all these things are like separate, and it's something like, you know, if there's like a music night or whatever, it's like chorus and band. The whole school doesn't do it. It's just the kids that are in, you know, those activities. And it's a very limited number
Right.
of kids. Yeah, there's nothing that they like have the whole student body do a thing. Not nothing. Yeah.
Right. へえ。
It's very different, yeah.
Yeah. そうか。じゃあね、日本の学校の方が楽しいかも。イベントだらけで。
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot more stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah. なんかアメリカの方がイベント多そうな感じですけどね。People feel like there's more like events or parties in America than Japan.
I think it's also why we go to school 40 days less than Japan does. we spend so many days on ceremonies and
Right.
stuff that it adds to the number of days that kids are in
確
school.
かに。だから多いんか。あ、海外でも学校に校歌あるんですかって。There's a song, right? The school song. ない嘘
No.
あ、でも there's a mascot character.
There's a
Right.
mascot character. Yeah, yeah.
効果はない。
Yeah. So
あ、じゃあ they don't sing, just sing national anthem.
But we don't even do that in school. When I was young in Shogako, they did that. You said the Pledge of Allegiance in the morning,
なんそれ。
which is like you put your hand on your heart and say, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. But they have gotten rid of that now, and they don't do like, I guess they do the national anthem at sports games and stuff, but not
Like the Olympics.
yeah, not like every day in school or anything like that. But yeah,
国歌か。国歌は歌うけど、それも別に日本ほど歌わず、校歌はなし。
yeah. My school mascot was the Blue Devils.
ブルーデボス。
Blue
そう
Devils.
でも日本にないもので、あっちの学校にあるのはキャラクター、学校ごとにそのキャラクターがあるんですよ。マスコットキャラクター。何ってブルーデボス。そうだからクマとか、よくなんか海外ドラマとかに出てきません？なんかジムとかに。
This is
どれどれ？あ、
it's a really old like kind of 1950s.
かわいい。ちょっとレトロ。
Yeah.
That's N behind the devil.
Northampton, yeah.
Northampton っていう
Yeah,
地域の学校だから。あ、これね。はいはい。あんま可愛くなかった。
Yeah.
そうで、そういうなん
So
か
our
着ぐる
colors
み
are
とか
blue
ね。
and gold at our school.
何 blue and white
Blue
is
and
gold.
gold. Why is it blue and gold?
うん。
Because that's just our colors.
へえ。So that's like a 何 school color.
School colors, yeah. So the school, another school that I taught at was like red and black in America. Yeah.
そう学校のカラーとね、そういうだから決まったのが青とゴールドとか学校ごとにそういうのがあるんですよ。で着ぐるみ、マスコットの着ぐるみを着たりとか、それは日本の学校にないかも。デビルか。でもなんか sometimes it's the animals, right? Like bears,
Sometimes,
fox,
yeah.
tigers.
Yeah, like a tiger or a wolf
Cats.
or a cat or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
そうそう。よくドラマに出てくるやつ。
Yeah. I don't know why we're the Blue Devils.
なんで
I think like Notre Dame is also Duke University, I think, is the Blue Devils. It's like a Duke University in North Carolina. It's a popular university.
Okay.
It's like famous for basketball, and I think
Duke 大学。
they're the Blue Devils.
へえ、一緒かぶってる感じ
Yeah. And then their rival is like the Tar Heels, which are like a goat, like a mountain goat in North Carolina. Yeah.
ライバルね。
Yeah.
ドラマで見るわ、それ。なんか if you watch Glee とか
Oh, right.
what else? なんかなんか school theme
Sure.
TV shows.
High School Musical.
あ、そうそう、ハイスクール、そうそうそうそう。
Things like that.
そう
Yeah.
そうそう。
Yeah.
へえ。
And I think more of that stuff happens in bigger schools too, where they have lots of students to do these sort of events and like sports things. Like my school is pretty small. It was only about 800 kids, maybe 1,000
800人ぐらい
now. Yeah. So you don't have a whole lot of students because only a small percent of students participate in these kinds of things, you know, sports events and stuff like that.
そっか。
But yeah.
なるほどね。いや、だから日本独特の行事ですね、体育祭は。が、もしかしたらブリティッシュ、イギリスとかはやってんのかもしれないです。We don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know about it.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff, you know, that came into Japanese schools from the military who were trained by the British, right?
Yeah.
So like lots of meals and stuff like curry rice, that's a British,
Right.
you know,
そっか。
it came to Japan not from India, but from British who conquered India and then started eating Indian food
Yeah.
and then taught Japanese
Right.
how to eat in the military, how to eat Indian food, you know.
Right.
Like, you know,
Something like that.
nikujaga is also like a British, you know,
確かに。そう、ブリティッシュだっけな。
potatoes, meat and
Netherlands or
potatoes.
something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of it's like, yeah, kind of military food.
Right, right.
You know.
あ、ニキさん、Good evening.
Good evening.
And what else? I met the Dappa Radio personality, Kent,
Oh,
from Midnight Express.
yeah.
そう、ミッドナイトエクスプレスのケントさんがいらっしゃって初めてお会いすることができました。そういえば。And we talk about the tourism and of this town in Vietnam. Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Like to know about that because still I'm like learning and studying about tourism business here, but it's pretty hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. そう、ヒントさんとお会いしたので、ベトナムのね、なんか観光っていうか現地のこう様子とか 日本に来るベトナムの人のこうなんだろうな、どういうのが好まれてるかとか、そういう話とかもたくさんすることができて、ちょっと勉強になりました。ちょっと考えなきゃかな。だって栃木県でベトナムの人が一番こう海外から移住する人の割合として多いんですよね。ってなったらやっぱりそういう人たちにもこう周知をしたいけど、やっぱりなかなかベトナム語とかそういう人たちに向けての発信とかって今そんなにないんじゃない、那須町に限らずないんじゃないかと思って、ちょっとなんかねこれからいろいろできそうな気がします。Because we don't like see any signboards or anything in Vietnamese.
No.
In this town, or even in the city.
Yeah, it's not a common language. I mean, usually things will be in Japanese, English, Korean, Chinese.
Sometimes in Spanish.
Sometimes Spanish. I don't know if I've ever seen a Spanish sign.
Only in the cities, I guess.
Maybe only in like major attractions. But yeah.
But it's always in Japanese, Chinese, Korean.
Right.
かな?
We went somewhere where there was like an event with Vietnamese Buddhists. We saw them. I don't remember where we went to around here. We saw a bunch of people in like yellow robes.
Ah!
And I think they were from Vietnam. And it was like a group of Buddhists
Yeah.
having like a picnic
Right.
in the park somewhere.
Where was it?
It was by a river.
By the river.
You know what it was? It was in Nasu Kurasayama by the waterfalls.
Right. The waterfalls.
It was by the waterfalls in Nasu Kurasayama.
Right.
Yeah.
そうだ。那須烏山市に行った時、ベトナムの方たちが来てました。
Yeah. So
Right.
There's some number of people from Vietnam.
Because people live in Tochigi.
Yeah.
そう。だからね、なんかできないかなと企んでおります。あ、商店熊さん、どうも。
こんばんは。
こんばんは。Okay, then we can talk about the main topic.
You want to start
Tonight?
the main topic tonight?
Sure.
Okay. So
we haven't talked about any English lately.
any lessons?
So
lately?
lessons. We didn't do that last time, I'm
Right.
sure. So we can talk about it. Hi.
Yeah. So I guess one of the most difficult things about studying English
はい。
is that English does not come from one language. Right?
そうなんで英語が難しいかって言ったらなんていうの、一つの言語じゃないんですよ、英語って、いろんな国の言語が混じってるから難しいんです。はい。
So it's a Germanic language. So
ドイツ系のね。
so it's a German language that has about 30% French words.
30% はフレンチ。
Yeah, and
フランス。
I have a chart I can bring up earlier, and then another like
なんか
10% Latin and
ラテン
Greek.
ね、ラテン語ね。
And so Latin is a language that you can get a lot of value from learning and studying English with. So we're going to talk about, I'm going to give some examples of prefix and suffix today.
大丈夫です。
in English
難しくないですよ。
it's
でも
difficult. So I'm gonna write down some stuff.
Yeah. But I never heard prefix and suffix
You've
before.
never heard them before.
そう
Okay.
prefix はそう聞いたことがなかったんですけど、先ほど Google 先生に聞きました。
So prefix is setoji.
ちょっと待って。どこ行った？
Prefix.
Prefix は接頭語って言います。接頭辞。
So we have. Oh, sorry, I spelled that wrong. Prefix.
Prefix と
Suffix.
Suffix って2つあります。で、これ早速でも That's the like a topic we talk about. I'm gonna explain about.
Yeah.
Right? この pre っていうのは皆さんが知ってるなんかプレオープンとか、プレ What else?
Pre-trial.
プリトライアル、日本語にあんまないかプリオープンぐらいかな。
I don't know 日本語 words that use
日本語は
pre.
プリオープンは common word。
Okay.
そうでプレオープンっていう時ってオープンの前のオープン
Pre-order.
そうなんか仮オープンみたいなのプリですね。ってことは前のオープンする前のっていう意味なんでプリがつくとそのものの前っていう意味になります。
So miss non pre dis.
Talk about prefix first.
Yeah. So what a prefix is something that you put at the beginning of a word to give meaning to it.
はい。
And the prefix often has a common meaning in every word. So
もの
here,
の単語の前につくっていう意味ですね。プレフィックスなんで。
yeah. So here's miss, non, pre, and dis.
はい。
Okay. So like, for example, with miss,
miss。
it's a negative prefix. So you can put miss with understand.
misunderstand.
You misunderstand me. So you have the word understand and you attach miss to it.
ミス
make
に
misunderstand.
understand をつけると understand はまあ理解するとかですよね。にミス
Understand.
は何ネガティブだから理解しないまあ誤解とか理解していないっていう意味になりますね。
Also, maybe is purple hard to see? It's not so different. So
blue or red here.
misuse. Oh no.
misuse.
Misuse. So use something wrong.
So use は使うにミスがつくと間違った使い方とかのなんていうの
Mislead.
ミスリードね。
To
ミ
lie
スリードって言いますよね。In Japanese.
Oh, really? Mislead? Okay.
ミスリードするとかね。
Yeah,
その
yeah.
なんか勘違いなんていうのうまく理解してないとき
Yeah. So all of these are miss.
全部ミス。
So it's a negative version of understand, a negative version of use, a negative version of lead. Right?
リードもリードするとかね。
Yeah. So again, like miss non. Let's see, what's a non-compete.
次ノンね。はい。ノン
Non-starter, non-compete. I don't know.
ちょっともう出てこないわもう。ノンカフェインしか出てこない。
Non-caffeine. Yeah, yeah.
ノンカフェイン。
Non-caffeine.
ノンカフェインしか出てこないわ。
So not caffeine or without caffeine.
そうそうそう。ノンカフェインってカタカナだからね。
Yeah, yeah.
うん。
Yeah, yeah.
ノン何かな。なんかありますか？
Non-believer.
ノンビリーバー。
Non-believer. So someone who doesn't believe. Non-believer.
ビリーバーはなんかこう信じる。ビリーバー、まあ
信じる
人ですね。
Yeah,
に
yeah.
ノンがつくと信じない。
Pre is not a negative, but like pre, it means before. So preview.
プリはね、そうプレビュー、プレビューって言いますね、カタカナでね、プレビュー。
Pre-approved. Pre-approved.
アプローブはこう許可するとか。
Yeah. Preheat.
Preheat.
Yeah. So you
Does it mean?
you preheat the oven
あ
before you put food
あ、
in.
余熱。
So yeah, so you preheat the
余熱。
oven, you get it hot before you put
確
food
かに
in.
確かに、オーブンね。ヒートをする前のプリヒートは余熱ね。
Yeah. So again, all of
そう
these
いっぱ
are
いあるんですけどね。プレだからもうプレオープン。プレビューね、プレビューとかプレオープン。
and then
What else?
so dis is also a negative. So you have like
This もまあネガティブ。
disappear.
Disappear.
So you appear or you disappear.
Appear はまあ現れるのネガティブだから消えるとかですね。
Disapprove. Disapprove.
Disapprove.
Yeah.
え
So you approve of something.
これは
and you
No やね。
disapprove. No, negative. Dislocate.
Dislocate.
So you dislocate your shoulder.
あ
So if your shoulder
はいはいはい。
pops out, it's dislocated. ちょっと grotesque, but
あ、例文がやばい。
yeah.
もっといい例やったはずだけど、なんかそのあれなんていうの、型が外れてガッてはめる、ガッてなんかそのあるべき場所にない状態。Dislocate.
Right, dislocate. So these are examples of prefixes. Other really common prefixes have to do with numbers. So uni means one. By means two.
By ね。
Yeah.
はい。
Try means three.
そうこれユニって1、by は2、try は3、3つあるっていう意味なんです。これ maybe came from Latin,
Yep.
right? ラテン語から来てます。
So if you see a word that has uni, by, try, you know it's one of something, two of something, or three of something.
Okay.
Right? So a unicycle, bicycle, tricycle. So cycle is like circle, right?
サイコは circle ね。
Circle.
丸ね。
So a unicycle
一つの丸だから
is this.
一輪車
A bicycle
は2つあるからあ、上手。
There we go.
上手。
Bicycle.
Bicycle,
Tricycle.
tricycle.
Has three, so you do. You go this. Here's handles.
Tricycle って何？
You don't have tricycles in Japan. Kids don't learn how to ride a
そっか。
tricycle.
キッズね、
Yeah.
三輪車ね。
Like a little
乗ってた
kids.
乗ってた。
Like what's the horror film Saw, where the little puppet rides the tricycle around.
わかるけど。例文がさっきから怖いわ。
Yeah, so man, there's a lot of difficult words that have these.
何？ You need or buy, try?
So I'm thinking like, so bicycle is a really common word that people know is
みん
easy.
な知ってますよね、バイセコはね。
Uni is probably
University、
university.
大学、
Yeah. So university. I think versity is like from veritas or something. Like
何
it's another Latin word.
ラテン
which means
Varsity
I think I mean the whole word is Latin, but I think it's probably veritas or something, which is like truth.
Okay.
So unicorn.
あ、ユニコーン
So one horn unicorn.
はいはい、ユニ
Unique.
unique yes
Unique. One of a kind. Uniform.
uniform
One form. So everyone wears the same
そっか
thing. Uniform.
universal
Universal. One, yeah. Universal. Unit.
unit
Unit.
いっぱいある
Universal. So
ユニフォームやね、
Yeah.
ユニフォームとか
so a unit is one thing.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So there's a bunch of words that use
そう全部
these
ね一つなんですよ、意味が
Latin
ね。
prefixes.
そうユニフォームも that's like the one uniform and
Yeah, one
the
thing.
one like it's like a one group, then people will just wear the same
Yep.
one uniform.
Yep.
That's why it's called uniform. The university is kind of the same thing, right? Like there's so many bunch of people there, but like in the same community or something.
Yeah, I mean, I have to look at the exact form of
Yeah.
the word. So yeah, so there's a bunch of these prefixes. So if you see these kinds of words, you can understand, oh, this means one thing, or this means a negative thing, like dis or un or non. We've also got suffixes.
はい、次はこっちね。suffix。
So a suffix
Wow.
is something that goes at the end of a
そう
word.
さっきはプレイだったから前についてましたよね。ノンとかユニとか。
Yeah, yeah.
こっちは物の後ろにつきます。
So it's what's ato.
ハトかける。
And then
前。
ちょっと。
頑張れ。あげた。あ、ちょっと違う。
ちょっと違う。
ちょっと違う。
How did I mess it up? It's da.
次。
This one and then this. 違う What? Help.
ちょっと惜しい。Nice try.
No?
ここ
What? Okay.
ここ違う。
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 What is...
もうちょっと。
Is it this?
え？あ、そう。
はい。Yes, my.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. My Japanese reminder for tonight. Yeah, so pre is before and suff is after. Ato. So an example of suffix.
はい、じゃあサフィックスに行きます。
Something like full or less. Okay?
Full or less.
Something full.
なんちゃら full.
Yeah, full.
なんちゃら less. はい。
So, for example, help. And what else? Helpful.
use.
Hope.
ね。
Mind.
あ
So
ね。
we've got help, use, hope, and mind.
okay, はい。
So someone can be helpful to you,
helpful.
right?
助か。
Helpful.
なんていうの？
Or you can be help less.
less.
So
日本語にすんのが難しい。
I don't know,
待
less.
って。helpful はなんかこう
Useful.
助けられたりとかね。 役立つか有効的なものとか役立つもの。 useless は使えない。あ、じゃあごめんなさいね。helpless ね。helpless は無力。だから対義語になってますね。for と less がつくと helpful と helpless.
Yeah. So these are not always opposites of each other, the full and less. Sometimes the words mean slightly different things.
あ、そう全部が全部対義語にはならないんですよね。それがちょっとややこしいところ。
But you know something has to do with help and it's full of help. Something is
Useful.
So you can use and it's full of use.
めちゃくちゃ使える。
You've got hope and you're full of hope.
そう、hope はね、こう望みとかね。
Mindful. People use mindful in
Mindful
Japanese,
ね。
right? Mindfulness.
あ、商店熊さんがストレスって。
Stressful. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
めっ
Stressful.
ちゃいい。
Right, exactly. Stressful.
めっちゃいいよ。すごいすごい。
Yes, that's excellent. I will say though, and we'll talk about this in a minute, stressless is not a word.
へえ。
So
そう
stressful is a
ってめっちゃ言いますよね。
And stress is a word.
いや、ストレスでワードがあって、stressful はだから full of stress.
Full of stress.
But
Yeah, yeah.
there's no word called stressless.
No, there's no stressless. We say stress-free.
確かに。
Stress-free.
まあ、ナイスエグザンポです。
But yeah, like stressful is a perfect example of using the full suffix.
So-
Yeah,
そうでもストレスレスっていう言葉はないんですよ。
yeah.
で、そうストレスがないっていうのを言いたかったらストレスフリーね。
Stress-free.
でもそれ日本語でもありますよね。ストレスフリーな生活とか
Yeah. Yeah.
ね。なるほどね。あれは美しい beautiful は
Beauty, yeah, full of beauty.
full of beauty やな。でも beautyless ってはない。
Beautyless, yeah.
Do you say
I
that?
think we could use beautyless. Yeah, something's without beauty. We would say it's
Out of beauty.
Beautyless. It's
beautyless.
not beautiful at all. Yeah, I think that is still a word.
すごいほら、
Yeah.
美しい
Beautiful, full of beauty.
beautiful はそう full of beauty
Yeah. Yeah.
beautyless っていうのはあるそうです。
Right.
私は言ったことがないです。
Another example, a really easy example of a suffix is y.
Why?
E. So think of rainy, cloudy,
sunny
sunny. So, like, sun is something, a cloud is something, rain is something. It's a mono.
ものね、
And,
雨、雲、
and then y is to
サンは
have
太陽か。
to have the quality of something, like the katachi maybe.
質とか、なんていうのかな。rainy. It's not like verb.
No, it's a
It's noun, but だから it's なんか
no, it's an adjective.
そうそうそう。
Sunny, rainy, you're describing the day.
Yes.
Funny,
あ、そっか。ファニーはファン
So-
の
it has the aspect of fun, the quality of fun.
right right
Yeah,
に Y がつくとファニーね。
yeah. Yeah, so yeah, y is another
なるほどね。
suffix. Yeah, so sorry, this is a quick lesson. I'll cover one more thing before we finish
Hi.
about
Hi.
these suffix and prefix. So sometimes a word will use a suffix or prefix and there won't be a base word for this. So what do I mean by that? So what I'm going to talk about are unpaired words. Unpaired words. Or orphaned. Orphaned negatives.
難しいぞ。あ、クマさんが音って。
Automatic?
あ、違う違う。
Oh.
In Japanese, sound? あれか。その Y ですか ?sunny とか rainy かな音 question mark だから。
Soundy.
And the difference between just like rain and rainy,
Rain.
I guess.
Oh, okay.
Noise.
Noisy. Sure.
あ、noisy. あ、そういうことね。
はい、like うるさい。
あー。
Like noisy.
I see.
Yeah.
Noise ね。で、noisy ね。Y がつくと。
Right.
だから音からその noisy でその音のなんていうな形容詞に変わるので、そのうるさいとか音が大きいっていう意味に変わるんです。ありがとうございます。わからなかった私。
Boop.
はい。
So there's sometimes what we call like orphaned words or
これは
unpaired words.
Unpaired words. Orphan negative ね。
Yeah. So these are two things. So actually is a prefix also, which means not.
ね。Unnecessary.
Unnecessary. Unpaired. So no pair.
Right. Unpacked.
Unpack. Yeah.
とかね。もさっき言ったprefix です。
Yeah. So the pack and unpack are a set of words. So you pack your bags and you unpack your bags. There's a positive and a negative.
Right.
They're opposite words.
Yep.
In an orphaned negative, so you've got this prefix, but this word cognito.
Cognitoって何
is not a word. So incognito means like hidden or secret.
隠すみたいな。
Like your computer has incognito mode in Google, and so you can't like it doesn't record your search.
ちょっと画面暗くなるやつかな。
Yeah, so incognito is a word,
はいはい。
but cognito is not a word.
そうっていう言葉はないんですけど、でもインカグニートっていうのはある。そういうなんかこう隠す、なんかこうなんていうのあれ、シークレットものみたいな。
Right.
そうだからこのunpaired words っていうのはだからだから例えば unpack と pack は
It's a paired word.
そうペアなんです。でパックはだからこう荷物旅行のためにね詰めたりとか。
This is not an erasable marker.
Oh!
Oops.
Oopsie.
So we'll fix that later. There's a big X on the board until then. So
なんて言ってたっけ私。あれかパックはだからその荷物を詰める。アンパックっていうとUN が前につくと荷物をだからこう荷ほどきするですね。おへそ。ベリーボンって。
Yeah.
ミス。
Hi, okay.
Hi.
So we've got overwhelmed, underwhelmed. So
なんかややこしいかもね。
over,
怒られた。
under. So in this example, so we've got the word overwhelmed and the word underwhelmed.
Okay.
So over and under, you know,
over
over
は
and
こうやって under
under.
は下で。
Shita, okay? So to be overwhelmed, what's the word for it? 圧倒された。
何？圧倒された、ね。
圧倒された。I'm overwhelmed with
オーバーウェル
work.
ムなんかこうそうもうなんていうの人が多すぎてだから It's too busy とか、
Right.
東京駅の人の多さに圧倒された。
Sure, it's overwhelming.
そう It's overwhelming って言います。
So underwhelm is to be not excited. So something was maybe disappointing, disappointing.
under は逆だから、なんかなんていうの、期待したよりも、なんていうの、だから、
it's I have
example
がっかりした。
がっかりしたね。
がっかりした。
だからそう期待したよりも。
I went to the Eiffel Tower. And I was underwhelmed.
Underwhelmed.
It wasn't as special as I thought
right. そう
it
そう
was
だから
going to be.
エッフェル塔を見に行ってすごい綺麗な大きいタワーかと思ったら意外と、そうでもないかも。
It was smaller than I thought. It wasn't nice looking, or
Yeah.
But it's a famous place, so I was underwhelmed.
Underwhelmed.
So in English, we use both of these words pretty commonly: overwhelmed, underwhelmed. But whelmed is not a word in the English language.
そうそれがね、なんでって感じなんですよ。それが overwhelmed, underwhelmed っていう言葉はあるんですけど、これを除いた whelm っていうのは別に存在しないんですよね。
Yeah.
さっきの pair と unpair とは違う。それは2つともちゃんとこの対義語になってて2つセットであるんですけど、この orphaned negative っていうのはそういうこうオーバーがついたりアンダーがついたり何かがつくとちゃんと単語になるんですけど、除いたら別に存在しない単語っていうのも結構あるんです。
Yeah, and so and this happens for different reasons. Sometimes and people don't always know why. Because
they don't know why.
Because the English language comes from different languages over hundreds of years, and we can't always trace where words come from. Because oftentimes, like English spelling didn't become consistent until like the 1800s or 1900s, when people started recording like dictionaries and stuff. Before that, if I lived in America, like if I lived in Boston, I may spell words totally differently from people in England, or totally differently from somebody in Georgia, right?
Right.
It's language was very fluid, and so people spend lots of time tracing spellings and things like that. So anyways, sometimes words disappeared from the English language. We stopped using them.
Right.
They don't get used anymore, and eventually they just sort of die off. Like you clip a branch from a tree and it just sort of dies off. But then other words stay. なるほどね。そうだからこれ歴史が関わってきております。だからそのいろんなだからこうなんていうの国からこう来た単語が一つのこう今英語として成り立ってますけど、やっぱりその昔から残ったものとあと英語でもそのイギリスの元からあるものとアメリカで使われているもので今の現代になってそれがこうだんだんこうややこしいものがこうね。木の剪定するみたいに落ちていってで残ったものだからこう本当に古い昔からのそういうラテン語とかが残ってるのもあれば新しくそうやって移民でアメリカに移ってからこうやってちゃんとした単語ができたりとかっていうのがあるので一概に絶対だからこのペアになるとかならないとかっていうのが決まってないのは多分そういう歴史背景がありますね。もうそうこれねほら useful や useful very bon. Yeah, so that's what an orphaned or unpaired word is. And the word orphan, maybe people don't know, is a child with no parents.
はいはい。そう、オーファンって皆さん、ちなみにさっきのオーファンネガティブの言葉は知ってますか？オーファネージとか言います。
オーファネージ。
オーファネージっていうのは孤児院とか。オーファンっていうと、だからその親がいない身寄りのない子供たちとかのことを言います。だからペアがいないってことですね。
What else?
カーナさん、Good evening.
I'll leave you with just two more quick,
Yeah.
not prefixes or
これまた別
suffixes.
ね。
これは別。
別。
But talking about language, one of the most interesting language origins has to do with animals and food. So, I think at least.
カランカラン来た。
Fire truck coming by. So, anyways.
はい。
So, in Japanese, if we have, ushi, right?
Cow 牛ね。
And gyu as the meat that comes
そうだね。
from it, right? But it's the same kanji, it's the same word,
Yes.
right?
同じ漢字。
Buta is pig and butaniku is pork, right? So in English, oftentimes the names of animals and the meat that we get from them, so cow gives us beef, pig gives us pork,
そうそう。
are
お
not
肉になるとね。
are not the same,
一緒の言葉じゃないんですよ。
right? And so why is this?
なんでか？
Why isn't it called cow meat, pig meat,
ね。
like in Japanese?
日本語はね、肉つくだけですからね、豚にね。
So this has to do with history, and when England was conquered by the Normans, Normans who came from France.
あ、フランスか。
Like
フランス
Normandy?
にだからイギリスがこう占領された時ね。
Yeah. So the French people spoke French who were royal. The kings and queens and
そっか。
royals were all speaking French.
だからこうフランス人が占領して、そしたらトップの人たちはフランス人なわけですよね。そしたら言葉もフランス語。
So boeuf is
In
French
French.
for cow, for beef.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does it mean cow or beef? It's
It,
beef.
it means it means cow.
Cow.
Yeah, so there's also bove, like bovine. We use the word in English. Anyways, it's not important.
Okay.
So they're speaking French. The people who are raising the animals are English peasants. They're poor farmers, right? And so they're using the English word, the old English word for these animals. They're not using the Latin or French word for them. They're using the local language.
Right.
So these animals, their names evolved from the local Germanic language, but the name for the meat that comes from them, that name for the meat that comes from them comes from the French words.
Okay.
Because the poor English people were raising the animals, and the rich French people were eating them. So they
Yeah.
were using the French name instead of the English name.
面
And
白い
then
かも。
over time, this just became English.
I see. 面白い面白い。だからペザンツってさっき言ったのはなんていうのか農家とか農民っていう意味ですね。だから当時のイギリスでそういうだから野菜とかは家畜を育てる人たちが貧しい時代。まあだからそういうのを仕事としてる人たちってイギリス人ですよね。だから英語を使ってます。でも実際そのお肉とかを食べる人っていうのがフランス人だからフランス人はその牛肉とか豚肉使ったものを呼ぶ言葉がフランス語だからお肉になるとフランス語の言葉になったんですよね。それがちょっとフランス寄りの言葉で今もう英語として出来上がった。
Maybe not. 後で
ね。What else?
Yeah, so that's all. Just the last
Right.
little fact I wanted to leave people with.
面白い。じゃあ the same Deer.
Sure, deer and venison.
So venison from French.
Yeah, I believe so.
鹿肉も Deer はその鹿のことですけど Venison
Venison.
Venison っていう言葉なんですよ。お肉になったら
Yeah, it's the meat of deer.
Deer meat って言わないんですよね。
Chicken is poultry, I guess.
Poultry. I don't know why it's just chicken.
Right.
ね。そうこういうのがねその歴史だからこう英語って結構歴史も関係するので詳しいと結構覚えやすかったりとかなんだろうな面白さが増すと思います。Like it's totally different if you know about this or don't know about the history.
Right.
Because English, like language, came from like several countries, like you said.
Yeah, and if you're just studying English and you don't think about it, like it's easier to imagine like a word if you know about sort of the history. So, for example, in America, we have something called spelling bees. So it's like a spelling competition.
Spelling bees.
Yeah. So students get up and somebody reads them a word from a dictionary and they have to spell it.
Okay.
Right? So like I say like disambiguous and you're like, okay, how do I spell that disambiguous? And so sometimes they'll ask, what's the country of origin? Where does it come from?
Okay.
Right? And they say, oh, it's Greek, or it's German, or it's French.
Yeah.
And then they're like, okay, I know it's French, so they spell it this way. Like, it's going to use these letters to spell those. Like with phone, P-H-O-N-E. It's not an F, it's a P-H, and that's Greek.
That's how they learn words, like English?
No.
No.
That's not how people learn. People naturally know.
Naturally know. That's soです.
Yeah, I mean the way that you naturally know Japanese.
そうでもだからアメリカ人とか英語を話す人たちが例えばそういうめっちゃ難しい単語とかスペルなんだっけとか何の意味だっけってなった時に
We will learn some suffix and prefix.
そうまずだから何を考えるかって言ったらその言葉がどっから来たかだそうです。でそれが例えばフランスだったらフランスだからここ例えばだから F フォンとかね。
ごめん。
大丈夫消えたフォンだから PH 使ってるとかね。それはだから it came from Greek、
right.
ギリシャとかねっていう話でした待って油水でなぞってすぐさまウェットティッシュで拭き取ったら取れるかも配信終わったらやってみますちょっと取れてる
On the table next to the soundboard
ある
Alcohol tissue?
Yes. So, right. Maybe it's fine.
I think probably it's okay.
頑張りますいけた
I think if you give me the pen, see if I can, the red pen.
Which pen?
See if I can do this.
So that's what then Kuma-san told us.
Yep.
やってます
It's getting there. We're getting there.
取れてきたすごいコマさんすごいほらよかったともうちょっと
It dries really quickly.
ミスでした大丈夫ですか皆さん理解できましたでしょうかI think it's fine きれい
Hi, okay. So anyways, I hope you all have a great night. Thank you for joining us.
That's all for tonight.
That's all for tonight. できた。はい。じゃじゃーん。
キラキラキラキラ
So yeah, so sorry that was such a quick introduction, but we can talk more about these things next time.
Yes.
And there's lots of stuff online where you can learn about these kinds of suffix and prefixes.
Yes.
And sort of the history of language, of the English language.
Yeah. If it was fun, maybe we can talk about these kind of stuff more next time.
I'm really interested in history and, linguistics has a lot of interesting history. Language has a lot of interesting history.
そう、ヒストリーがね、
Yeah.
苦手分野のね、でも関わってくるので、でもそれを知ると、そうやってすごい面白いと思うんですよ、英語も。ただこう単語帳を見て覚えるよりも、なんかそういうのもちょっと話していきたいと思います。Yeah, and I'm sorry we can't make it next time this month.
Oh, we can't.
So we only one radio this month. So we see you in December.
Oh, okay, yeah.
なので来月の I think it's 11th,
11th, yeah.
にお会いしましょう。
Next month there's a Friday the 13th.
ちなみに来月の13日は金曜日でございます。では Thank you for watching and I hope you have a great night.
Alright, take care. Have a good night.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.